Good morning, church family. Lona and I miss you dearly. I just wish I could turn this camera around and see each of you. Let me read for us from Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 7, using the NIV translation. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Sometime back, I found a little book that's been very meaningful to me. It's entitled Beginning a Prayer Life, and it's by Paul E. Miller. In this book, there is a statement, American culture is probably the hardest place in the world to learn to pray. We are so busy that when we slow down to pray, we find it uncomfortable. End of quote. For many of us, that's likely true. But today we find ourselves with a new perspective by which to look at the priorities of our lives. During these in-shelter days, I've found myself repeatedly going back to this little book and rereading key points. One such point says, prayer is hard. If you're like me, you may sometimes feel that your praying is hard, more duty rather than desire or even need. Sometimes it feels like I'm not really touching the heart of God. Do you ever feel that way? Do we really understand the openness of our Father's heart? In the book, Mr. Miller makes the observation, Satan cannot create, but he can corrupt. I don't know about you, but I know firsthand he can corrupt a prayer life with fear and doubt. Prayer can only be natural when we have hope, and hope begins with the heart of God. Understanding the heart of God will lead us to a more effective life in prayer. We have been busy. Our culture wants instant gratification. We want answers that conform to our expectations. Mr. Miller's book suggests that we take several days and repeatedly pray through Psalm 23. You know, the one that begins, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." I think what he may want us to discover is the heart of God. When we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we can focus on the darkness, or we can focus on the shepherd, if we know his heart. Now let me read again verses 6 and 7 of Philippians 4, this time using the paraphrase, the Message. Don't fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayer, letting God know your concerns. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the center of your life. May we covenant together to seek the heart of God. May we be a praying church, and instead of fear and doubt, may we focus on developing a spirit of understanding and thankfulness, realizing our whole life is a gift. We can then truly live in the precious present.